Hello, welcome to Judith Henry Design Studio. I'm here today to demonstrate putting together my last pop-up card for the year 2020. This is a card that I started out to make so that it looked like a New Year's Eve card with the 2020 on it. I have several demonstrations of that. One says 2020, the other one has a clock that looks like the numbers are scrolling up, and then I ended up just making a plain simple card that you can embellish with your, whether you want it for a Happy New Year so that you can change the numbers, or you can use it for a happy birthday card. It's just a celebration card. The elements not only are glued onto the surface of the panels, but they also have pop-ups in the middle which give it added dimension so that you don't have as confusing pop-up mechanism if I were to make it with tiny little steps that you could glue on. I'm using inch sizes. This is cut on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I flipped it over now and I'm rescoring on the other side. It makes a little bit better fold because we're going in both directions. We're going mountain and valley folds. Normally you would score it on the line according to the direction that you're scoring. It will be folding. Okay, so as you can see, we have very small openings to make our folds. But if you start at the end and you just start folding in the middle, don't fold all the way across because they don't go across, and not even look at the direction, whether it's a blue or a red. Just get the fold in there. And the folds, you get the paper to bend where it's supposed to. Then the framing comes out a lot easier. What this is just several steps that makes the platform for the jazz band to sit on. It has slits in there because we're using a different kind of mechanism for each individual instrument. Make sure you get your center slide also. And then once you have that, you can start pushing up the mechanisms and pushing down the valleys, pushing up the mountain folds and the valley folds. And I like to start at one end and I push it up, push up the mountain folds, fold it back on the valley fold. Hopefully you can see this. I don't want too much light on this. Okay, and then you just keep doing that. Push your valley fold down, push your mountain fold up. And the back sides of your folds. will look like this. And then you want to take your bone folder and crease them down. And your stage will then pop out. So doing the same thing with a pattern, now that you've got the idea of what the stage is to look like, you can do it on your pattern piece. I went ahead and actually folded the print and cut version that has the Celebrate the Moment on it. And I've cut out, these are also print and cut. They are the elements that make the pop-up people. And you'll notice that there are several of them that have a tongue that comes down underneath the element. And these are separate little platforms that if you look inside from this end, you can see that, hopefully, that the people are not are standing up in the middle of the step, and this bottom piece comes down inside the mechanism, and it's long enough that it will attach to the cover so that they are actually standing in the middle of them. So that's something a little bit new in this mechanism, to get those to work. And so each one of these that has a tongue actually has a fold in it, and it is a mountain fold, so that when they lay flat down, they're laying flat instead of the other way around. So get those out and fold the tongue backwards. There are 5 of them. We have dueling saxophones in the middle layer, and you will notice that these print and cuts are rather fragile because I made it so that there were lots of holes in it to make it look natural and shows the background. So there's your dueling saxophones. You have the wild-haired drummer that goes with the guitar player and our backup singers. And then you have the main singing group. And the rest of them are then glued onto the edge of each of the steps. So those are ones that you can put anywhere you want to. To assemble this, I am going to start with putting my card flat, and then I start with my singers because they're in the slot on the keyboard, and you need to put them in so that the tongue goes to the back, and slot them down as far as you can so they lay flat, and then flatten them, flatten them like they will be when they are folded. And then from this side, from the back side, You want to fold them back from the top, so they're kind of upside down. Take them and make sure that they're centered on it, on the slot, on the back side. Just use a little bit of tape. You don't need to use a lot, just to stabilize them in their slot. And then the tab, so see they're standing up on the platform. Then in the back, you want this tab to go up, and that is where you will put the adhesive. And so you want to do this for each layer. Okay, so I've got all my pieces in there, and this is laying flat. And on the back side, I've put all the little pieces of double sticky tape on it, and I'm making sure that these are all lined up parallel. Then the other areas that you want to put double-sided tape is at the top of top crease, at the bottom crease, along the edges, and you'll want to split it so it doesn't go over the center fold, along the bottom and along the side here in the top. I'll do that now. Okay, now we're going to take the tape off of the tabs. And the center, the fold on the bottom piece on this end by the first piece. The others I'm just going to take and fold over the edge. That way I can position it and tack it with that one, but pull these out. And I'm only doing this bottom half, and I'm going to put it on my cover. This time I'm using a yellow one. This is a 7 by 10 cut, folded in half. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the center fold and just a wee bit offset from the fold. And then I'm just going to push them all down flat. And what that does then is it creates, when it folds up, we have all the little tabs stuck down onto the platform in the direction that they will fold when they fold forward like this. Okay. And the reason that I have these little tabs on the ones that are sticking down that we want to now glue is so that you can just pull and rip them out. They're already in place, and just seal it down. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And this time I'm going to put my card in the position I want it to stay open at, and then gently tack that back. And then pull my strips out. Put it down nicely. And now I have all my floating people on my card. Now the ones that are left to be tacked down are the trombone and trumpet player, the director, the piano player, and the two violinists. And you can put them anywhere you want on any one of these risers. And to do that, I use my liquid glue. And for instance, I'm going to put one of my girls' violinists over on this side. And if I just use some liquid adhesive and put a stripe right here, I can then just put her in place, fold it down, press it, and she becomes attached to that step. And I'm going to do that for all of my step people. This one I'm going to put her right here. Press them down. And the card is completed.